In the same vein, we are going to be also inviting the civil society organizations, the NGOs. Oh, Society for Fighting of Corruption, Society for Curing Mental, all kinds of associations of, there are thousands and thousands of NGOs. What, between turning off the tap and mopping, what will you prefer? We have placed a plan on the table that is able to extinguish the source of the problems you are doing activism around. Whether it is corruption you have gathered to fight, or girl child education you've gathered to promote, or poverty you've gathered to alleviate in some way of going to buy a wheelbarrow for people to go and push. No, we are saying on this occasion, the source of all those problems, you want to raise money to go and help people in IDP camps. All those things are very good. But you have a particular responsibility. If there is a proposition that can extinguish the source of these miseries that you are trying to attend to, we're inviting you to come now with your exposure, with your capacity to understand. NGO organizing people towards electoral reform, towards a free and fair election. No, it is not election that will solve this problem that is upon us now. It is to take down the constitution and go to transition and work out new constitutional arrangements that can take care of the people. So don't tell us you are going to be mopping at the time there is a need to turn off the tap. Come join to turn off the tap, NGOs. The same way the labor movement, the NINAS is telling the labor movement that all the efforts to get things working better for yourself, if you do not think about the rest of the society, how many of us are in that kind of in the labor movement in terms of compared with the rest of the population? If we have 200 million people, how many civil servants do we have? How many people are in all those? Every time you go to agitate for new wage, yes, a laborer should earn his wage, but that wage will go to a marketplace. If the reason your money will not buy you the same amount of money that by the time the Naira was introduced in 1970, I clearly remember, by the time the Naira was introduced in 1973 or so, the Naira was $4 to 1 Naira. There was a coin, a 25 kobo coin that was minted at the time called dollar. Progressively, this same Naira had been battered by the soldiers who seized power and all the people that collaborated with them, progressively to where suddenly it was now almost 1 Naira to $1, and then it became $5, 5 Naira to $1, and progressively we are now at 500 Naira to $1. Therefore, if you the labor movement, the electricity you need to make your life better, the infrastructure you need to make your life better, and the life of the other people. If you focus only on asking for salary, the day they increase fuel, you go and do a demonstration. Oh, fuel, bring back a fuel price. No, the refineries are locked down by that constitution so that you can see how it connects with you. The refineries that should have been processing our crude, we have 3 million barrels of crude oil we sell. We can't take the 10% of it that we can process and provide employment to a larger number of people. You sit back and allow them under this constitution that locks down everything to sell crude oil. And then the refineries that fall under the exclusive management of the federal government are not functioning. The 4 refineries are down. And now they have to buy all the products from outside. And then we hear about a subsidy regime and all of that. Corruption has grown into a monster in that sector alone. Therefore, the little sum of money you get paid don't take you anywhere, because the prices of the basic things, whether it is food or electricity or petrol or all the other things you have to pay for, even the security, you have to make all kinds of arrangements. So your salary doesn't take you anywhere. Even if it's multiplied by 10, it still does not send your child to a good school. So those things that are responsible for that situation in that society in which you constantly go to agitate for what is added to you, Why can't some of that energy look at South Africa and see who is leading the charge for what will happen in their society? Because the labor leaders also realize that they have the power of collective bargain that can be applied to address the source of the problems that have been, consuming them and the rest of society. Therefore, NINAS is inviting the labor movement, whether it's the civil servants, civil service, or the ones involved in textile, all kinds of segments and sectors of labor movement, trade union, what's their names again? We invite all of you who are involved in labor movement to come and take a position in this debate about the source of this problem that is consuming everybody, that is making your salaries look miserable and unworthy, not able to take you home. They call take home pay. Let us turn off the source of those problems, the source of that misery you live in. Let us see that the rest of society will also have to, somebody has to stand in looking for how to solve the problem of the rest of society. It's not only labor, but labor has that bargaining, that capacity to come together. The rest of society and just lying here and there, they can't organize at that level. So let labor bring that power of organizing to come to extinguish the source of the trouble. Let us turn off the tap. This constitution is the reason your situation is the way it is. If you allow it to stay, if you allow them to proceed to election under it, you are signing your death warrant. You are signing to go from poverty to death. NINAS invites you to please put aside all of what you had done before. Let us combine our efforts and go and turn off the source of this problem that has been chasing the society around.